Namaskar. It's a wonderful day in Delhi, by which I mean it's really, really hot, humid. But being a dancer and trained to face all kinds of circumstances, all kinds of weathers and climates, we were made to rehearse, practice and dance in non-air conditioned classrooms, rehearsal rooms, auditoria. And that was with silk costumes and solo program, not like today, group choreography, holding the audience for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 1.5 hours, maybe a costume change in between because so much sweat. All that comes to my mind when today I share my thoughts with you on dance as a metaphor. Actually, dance is a metaphor for life. The title today, the topic, Vishay, dance, unbreakable part of life. That unbreakable word is significant. I'll tell you why. But first, let me tell you why I think it's a metaphor for life, dance, as no other art. Yes, literature, natak, dramas, poetry, stories, novels, painting, sculpture, music. So much is there. The dance of India, as we understand it, is truly the metaphor for life. Let me quote to you the famous shlok, Sanskrit verse from Natya Shastra, first chapter. Na tat jnanam, na tat shilpam, na sa vidya, na sa kala, na so yogo, na tat karmam, natyesmin yan na drashyate. It's very simple. It just says very simply that there is no form of yoga or art or karma, actions, karma, and no part of knowledge, jnana, no shilpa, by shilpa of course, nasa kala, nasa vidya, no sculpture, no art, kala, vidya. Gyan and vidya, they differentiate. Therefore, two different words. I would suggest, I request you, my friends who are watching, to not Google. Don't make Google your paramacharya. Don't make Google your ultimate teacher. No. Please refer to a good Sanskrit dictionary. What is the difference between Jnana and Vidya? Dance, our Natya Shastra, the Natya is all this. And therefore I said the dance in India, as we understand, as we have been learning, looking at it for centuries, for millennia, is truly a metaphor for life. Now I was going to tell you that why we said unbreakable part of life. Let me give you a little a story from my own life. It's not a story, it's a real episode, a real event that happened. I'll take you back to 1974. Many of you may not have been born. never mind. I was already famous. I had crossed that threshold of being famous and eminent and all that. I'm not bragging. Please don't misunderstand me. But Sonal Mansingh, Sonal Pakwasa as my maiden name was, I was famous already in Bharatanatyam. And in 1965, after I got married to Odia gentleman and learned Odissi in Odisha and continued with Bharatanatyam and Odissi, as Sonal Mansingh, I became doubly famous. So in 1974, at the end of a European tour, I was in Bayreuth, B for Bombay, Bayreutھ in Germany. Not Beirut in Lebanon, where the horrible blasts have taken place 2 days ago. I pray for the souls, but this is Bayreuth, made famous by the German musician composer Wagner. And his long operas were always performed in Bayreuth, for which a special Spielhaus, a festival opera house, was built according to his dimensions, his instructions, holding 3,000 people. And that's where every year the Wagner festival in Bayreuth, tickets would be sold the world over. 2 years before that year, sold out. And I was invited 4 times, not for the opera. Of course, I watched all the operas, but for the International Youth Festival, where participants from about, I would say, 30, 40 countries had taken my workshop. Master classes, but workshops. And that was the first year that I was there. By then, I was with my German fiancé, and we had gone over the weekend to Nuremberg, a beautiful city very near to Bayreuth, to spend the day with our sculptor friend and to visit museums. And we had rented a small Beetle Volkswagen, what you call the Volkswagen order. Volkswagen, because I studied German, so I pronounce it the German way. And as you know, that Volkswagen has the dicky in front and the engine is at the back. Now if you go for a day, you don't have any bags, any luggage. Plus, at that time, there were no safety belts. So late night returning, there was a drizzle, and that part of Germany where Bayreuth is, heavily wooded, forested area. And because Bayreuth was close to about 40 kilometers inland from the tri-country border. At that time, Germany was divided. So we were in West Germany, nearby was East Germany and Czechoslovakia. It was not yet Czech Republic and Slovakia. I'm talking of 1974, remember. And so there was hardly any traffic at night. We were, I think, 1:30. And suddenly a deer ran across. Although it was the Autobahn, you know, the Autobahns are very famous world over. But, even the Beetle can go at high speed. And the brakes were applied. And the rule of the driving is never apply brakes at fast speed. Number 2, never brake for any animal or anything, but the human instinct. So brakes were applied by my fiancé, and there were 3 somersaults of the Volkswagen. I was thrown out about 15 feet and I passed out. Now, why I tell you this detail is it's very interesting later on when I think about it. And a lot of people ask me, what happened? Tell us. Articles have been written on my accident in Reader's Digest. This whole incident formed part of our government schools' textbooks for many years. So, I was, somebody had seen 1-2 kilometers away the car, and they called up, and the police came and whatever, and I was taken to the nearby town's hospital. So the doctors were woken up, and they said, we cannot treat her here, you have to take her to Erlangen, the big city where Siemens, SIEMEN is the big international, multinational company headquarters, and many specialized clinics and hospitals. You have to take her there. So in a special ambulance, sliding in, and they took me, and I passed out, and I was cold, and I could speak, and I was whatever. Point is that there I was kept for 48 hours just on foam rubber. The foam mattress. Until the doctors had to make x-rays and find out, and then they came to the conclusion that they will have to put a steel rod in my back. My spine, my 12 vertebra was totally gone, it was powdered, and my spinal cord was hanging apparently by a hair's breadth. So the ethical rule is there that you have to take patient's permission. And my fiancé whispered in my ears and said, steel rod. I don't know how, I instinctively, and he said, then what is the other option? And the doctors told him that only other option is to give her a plaster cast from neck to hips, and that's all we can do. And he said that, I said, I believe just that. Apparently, I had not only broken that, but 4 ribs, my collarbone, and plus so many other injuries. But these were the main. And the next day or whatever, I was taken down to the basement, and in what I call now the Roman torture room, they suspended me chin up on one table, and my entire body torso like a hanging bridge, and my 2 knees on the other table. So can you imagine, with a broken back and 4 ribs gone and the collarbone smashed. Even today my left collarbone is not complete, it doesn't have a shape. So they gave me 4 kilo, because at that time the plaster casts were different. Now the medical sciences also have treatment has advanced so much, and layers after layers, and no sedative. They had to see my expression to know, and they kept on asking, is it dead? And I was sweating profusely, I'm told, and I had gone white. But I didn't say a word, no scream. They'd expected me to scream away. No scream, nothing, just sweating when I was gritting my teeth. And later on, everyone, this Indian, because, with the German physique, I was like a little, and they said, my God, not a word, not a sound. And 14 days I was in the hospital then they said, we can't do anything more, and you have to take her to a chiropractor. A chiropractor, not orthopedic surgeon. There was no surgery on my body. And I was flown 14 hours from there to Frankfurt, and Frankfurt, Air Canada to Montreal, where my German fiancé was director of the Goethe Institute. And lo and behold, see, unbreakable part of life. If things have to break, and if we are meant to do something, the break is mended. A very eminent chiropractor who had seen me dance in Montreal just 2 months before that, he heard about it. And from his summer chalet, vacation home, he came back to Montreal 3 hours just to see me. He couldn't believe it. And then he said, let me try. He spoke to the German doctors in Erlangen. He brought his machines, he made new x-rays. I had to be, oh my God. And then he said, I'll let you know. What is there to let me know? The German doctors had clearly said, she will never dance again. She may walk normally after 2 years. And I was saying, I don't want to live. I don't want to live. I had given up, and my systems were folding up. My system was folding up, I'm told. So, sure enough, he developed the x-rays. He went through them again and again. He spoke to my doctors again. And then he came after a few days and stood at the head of my bed, and I was looking. I could only drink expectant eyes, and I could only move my fingers. There was a rucksack to repair my ribs. There was this plaster cast. I mean, you cannot imagine what I would have looked like. And he started, and he looked at me with his big Buddha eyes, blue-green eyes, lovely. And he said, "Sonal, I'm afraid." And I started howling. He repeated, "Sonal, I'm afraid you will be able to dance again." Can you imagine what happened to me? No, nobody can imagine. And I pray and I wish it doesn't happen to anyone, not to any dancer. But he said, I had to kickstart your system. Your psyche had wilted away. You were allowing your body to just, go. I had to kickstart it. And he did. And after that, he put me through 11 months of, my God, to bring back in alignment my spine, which had all gone hither and thither, because the 12th disc was not there. Only the 11th and the 13th hanging by that hairbreadth of spinal cord. Can you imagine? And the ribs, and that was secondary. Let me tell you quickly that I went through all that with the firm faith in his words and whatever he put me through. And then one day he took me to the clinic with my fiancé, and before I could understand, he had cut with the electric saw the 4-kilo plaster cast. It was on my body for 5 months. 5 months. And I believe I was there like with a little panty, and I started crying. I cried my heart out. I couldn't believe. I said, this happened to me? And, they slowly raised me because it was still not fully mended. It was very, very delicate. And gave me the hot cognac to drink, and they both gave me a tub bath and washed my hair and scrubbed my back. And oh my God, those photographs are something that I look at them, I laugh and cry at the same time. So to tell you that after 11 months, 1 year, he said, Sonal, I think you can go back. I'll give you 2 months to go and dance. But not to lift anything heavy. You have to take calcium or whatever you are told, supplementaries. And not to do any sudden movements, but you dance. Be very careful, be very alert. And he had put me through my first steps, and I'd fallen down the first day. And again I cried. I said, is that me? I can't even lift my taiya, in Aramandi. I can't even do that. And he stood by me every inch of the way, making me strengthen my back with different kinds of exercises. And believe you me, 2 months I danced in Rampur, in Bombay, in Delhi. 4th May 1975, my first performance after accident in Ashoka Hotel Convention Hall. That was the big thing then. Ticketed program. And the who's who of Delhi, Dr. Karan Singh, Dr. Kapila Vatsa, and Dr. Dharma Kumar, you name them. Today you don't know these names. These are the big names, the connoisseurs and the pundits and the scholars. And it was chock-a-block. And I danced for 2.5 hours, Bharatanatyam with my musicians. My Varnam alone was 45 minutes, one item. And people say that they saw sfullings, jisko kehte hain na, the fire kind of, not flames, but like that. They saw rays. Different people saw different things. Sometimes they said, we didn't see you. And that was the way I came back to life. I came back to dancing. And therefore I say, I didn't choose dance. I don't think we choose. Dance chooses. Dance chose me. And I came back to fulfill the unfulfilled mission. And with this, I want to say that body becomes unbreakable if the faith is unshakable. That faith has to be there all the way. And then I thought I'll let you know, and I'll share with you, that how is it that the body can endure so much. A dancer is like a soldier, let me tell you. Make no mistake. Today's dancers, I don't know, it must be, but we who are the solo dancers, the old tradition, where the solo dancer with the musicians on the side held the stage. Like I have danced in Moscow's Bolshoi Theatre, meant for 100 dancers, solo with my 4 or 5 musicians. Twice, not once. And in opera houses and national theatres around the world. And so many festivals which started with me. Khajuraho started with me. The Elephanta Festival, the Ellora Festival, the Mahabalipuram Festival, the Kodak Festival. I cannot tell you. So especially the solo dancers, tapasya, sadhana is such, that we are like soldiers. We have the perfect coordination and alignment of anga upanga, anga pratyanga, the major limbs and the minor limbs of the body from head to toe, nakhashika head to toe, from feet to up. Whether it's the face and all the eyebrows and eyes and neck and everything, and to each finger, and everything comes into alignment, coordination and control. Mind you, I'm using a very big word. See, in life, control is very necessary. What you call body language today. The body intelligence has to be trained. The body remembers. If, unlike today, you do not use this, but you use this, and your training seeps through your intelligence into your body intelligence. And that is how your body, mind are in perfect control, alignment. Now, what happens with that? I'll tell you, I'll give you another small example. 2011, I think it was the Tagore centenary, no, Tagore centenary was 1961. So it must have been the 150th year of Rabindranath Tagore. And celebrations were going on, so I was asked to prepare something, and I had my Ashtanayika, the 8 Nayikas, heroines. I selected them from Tagore's various poems and various dance dramas. And I made Ashtanayika, and for that we were 4 dancers, 5 dancers. Manipuri, Kuchipudi, Odissi, and Mohiniyattam, and Rabindranatya, plus a male dancer as Krishna. And then, of course, we recorded the music, and I did the whole choreography, and we rehearsed. And when we rehearsed, as I tell you, that there is no air conditioning. We rehearsed, and with the lighting and costumes and all that, ICCR put us on a plane, you know where? To Panama, Central America. With one stop at Dubai, we reached Panama. Yeah, just look up your atlas, you'll know. And after all that, we reached there. The next morning we have rehearsal. The next evening we have the program. And the next morning again, we travel out of Panama City to go to El Salvador. The next neighboring country, a small country where there is no democracy, military junta, but the Indian ambassador to Panama is also accredited to El Salvador. Oh my God. So that this is only 1.5 hour flight, not to worry. But from point to point, as I say, always remember, and I made it a habit with myself, and I've made it as a niyam, as a rule for my secretary and whoever, my dancers, my musicians, whoever accompanies me. I said, don't count the flight alone. The previous day performance, costumes are drying in the rooms. Early morning you have to wake up, you have to fold them up because again you have to perform. You shower, you pack up, you go down, all the things are loaded in the buses and the cars, and you go to the airport, and there is just enough time maybe to have a coffee, and you wait, and then you board the flight, and the flight is 1.5 hours, and that flight gives you nothing to eat or anything, and then you get down at San Salvador, the capital of that country, and despite the ambassador being with us, they don't give visa, it's on arrival. It took full 3 hours. 3 hours we are sitting at the airport, one coffee, and then we are driven to the hotels and all that. So by the time you reach your room, from that room to this room, you just cannot imagine whether it is 8 hours, 7 hours, 9 hours. And then next day, performance in the opera house. Very, very difficult. Old opera house. They said it was opened up for us. And staircases, the washrooms are on the 3rd floor or 2nd floor. And the stage is there and the backstage is there. And oh my God. Anyway, we are all, as I said, we are soldiers. And standing ovations. Now listen carefully what happens. The next morning, we again travel back to Panama City, but no hotel. From the airport, we are put on a connecting flight, connecting meaning again 2-3 hours, to Dubai. It's a long flight, and 8 hours at Dubai. And then Dubai to Delhi. And then by the time you reach home and you flop, just imagine for those 2 performances what we went through. But everywhere the performances are applauded, standing ovations, everything. So what I say is that the control over your body, the control over your emotions, how to face unexpected situations, how to face hardships. When I perform solo, I performed all my life. It's now nearly 5.5, 6 decades. And nobody bothers. The audience wants to see you perform at the best. Whether you have a stomach upset, whether you have a headache, whether you have fever, whether you are in not a good mood, whether there are little nails on the stage, as it has happened so many times, whether your feet are bleeding, no matter. Nobody wants to know that. They only want to see your performance, and by each performance, we are judged. You are only as good as your last performance. Believe you me, it's a tough challenge. It's a tough examination we have to give each time, and successfully. Once people say, "Ha, yeah, we had her naam suna tha, but you know, yeah, this was okay, yeah, very good." Oh my God! You cannot repair that situation or reputation. So, what I'm trying to tell you that the title is so wonderful. The unbreakable part of life is indeed dance. So I've shared with you these 2 things. Now I share with you a third. Just yesterday, 7th July 2020, I was here and I gave my first ever virtual Natya Katha. Now, since 2009, I was asked by friends, "Oh, you sing so well." I sing, I have learned classical Hindustani music for 15, 16 years from reputed teachers, gurus. South Indian, Carnatic, of course, and Oriya is a different system. So, at friends' homes or somewhere, we sing maze ke liye. But these friends were adamant. They said, "No, we want your bhajan sandhya." In 2009. I said, "I don't do bhajan sandhya. You can call whoever." Sorry. And they said, "No. We want you do whatever you like." Again, it was August. Janmashtami was round the corner. And I said, "Okay. So I'll do, singing, speaking, whatever I do. Like, I give my own commentary and I make my own announcements. Over the years, I've done that for all my performances. Okay, so this I'll sit and do." And I worked on it, and so many Krishna shloks, episodes, padas, apply your mind, apply my mind, and bring it. So 2009, my first Natya Katha Krishna, and it just picked up. Then I did a Natya Katha on Gita Govind for the same friends. Then I did Natya Katha on Devi for Navaratri. Then a Natya Katha on Sri for International Women's Day. Then I did a Natya Katha on Panchakanya. And it's like that, things are happening. Now, yesterday, the PhD Chamber of Commerce, they asked me, they requested, again, 11th August is Janmashtami. "Ma'am, can you please do?" I said, "How? On Natya Katha, I have no lighting, no musicians, no back projections." They said, "Ma'am, please just do it for us, whichever way." So, okay. I sat here, and there was Krishna at the back. Saraswati hai aaj. But I have a Krishna, beautiful sculpture right there with the Mayur picture. And I did a 1 hour Natya Katha. Except my Tanpura humming. There was nothing else, just like this. And it just went viral, and people are pouring messages and congratulating. They say we were in tears, and I was in tears by the end when I was singing Meera. There was a presence. There was a sure presence here. So, virtual, this world where I'm speaking to you, I cannot see you. But I know you people are out there, whoever is there. And I am communicating with you. I'm conveying my thoughts. I'm with you. You are with me. How difficult it is to go through a machine rather than face to face as we have been used to for decades. Now this sudden change, the new normal as they say, and we don't know for how long this is going to last. I hope not too long. Because again, sitting at home, watching, you don't like it, switch off, and we become lazy. We become arrogant. We become arrogant. Mind you, I use this word consciously. Switch off, and turn to television, do something else. So that respect for the art and the artists, that will go like that. And we have to be, I want to alert you, as I've been alerting through all my talks and sessions, that let us not take this as the normal. I would not say it's a new normal. I would say it is new just for the time being. And I hope and pray that we can go back to the days when we have our interaction as we used to do. When people send me messages like I lost my elder sister to cancer just 5 days ago in Bombay. I could not go to Mumbai. I was advised against it by everyone. And, so I lost her. And New normal, they say, yeah, you just, I'm touching the screen. Her son is touching the screen and then putting as if my hand on her head. I do not wish to become that. Today the circumstances demand that, but these are not normal circumstances. I refuse to take it as a new normal. And I request you also, my friends, not to accept this as normal. Yes, it is new because of the circumstances. And let us pray that this too shall pass. When people, send messages, oh, deepest condolences, may her soul rest, I refuse to take them. My friends, you have to pick up the phone and talk at least. How are you, Sonalji? I don't answer. Pick up the phone and talk. Let the warmth, the care, the concern of your voice at least carry to them. So let us not become like a machine, because dance, the soul is not here. It is here. And let us not forget it. So the unbreakable part of life, the unbreakable life, that is what dance teaches us. I refuse to dance on this. A lot of dancers are dancing, I know, and they have to, I guess. I refuse to. I refuse. I cannot. In a corridor, in a living room, in this space, what? Why? I'd rather talk and share my views and my thoughts and tell you all what dance does to you. Dance is the most normal, natural activity not only of a human being, but of birds and animals and trees and plants and flowers. Dance is Srishti. Dance exists in our body. As I keep saying, the in and out of breath is a movement, constant. The blood circulation, as I said yesterday, day before, whatever, is constant. The Ras Leela is happening right here now in every one of us. Right here now, we are dancing. We are not aware. So what does dance teach you? What has dance taught me? Becoming aware. Opening your eyes to look, to observe, to drink in. One of my senior students who came to meet me today, she said, but Guruji, how you remember what happened in 1978, this, that, so. I said, listen, darling, I have traveled to nearly 90 countries, in some countries more than 6 times. Japan, Indonesia, UK, Europe, Latin America, Canada, whatever. But I remember India, every corner. I remember episodes, I remember people. I remember so many choreographies. How? In Oriya, in Hindi, in Gujarati, in Kannada, in Tamil, in Telugu, in Bengali. How? The ragas, the tals, the text. And I said, because I never succumbed to this. Even today, I write my hand, longhand, my articles, my letters, my thoughts. Even today, when I travel, I never carried a camera. Early days were a box camera, then the other cameras came. I never carried a camera. My camera was here. And all the images, the details are here. So, dance is within us. Dance is outside us also. We only have to connect. And if we do not connect, it remains only that. Just like this odni, I worn it now, later on I remove it. It is like you are removing your skin. Dance is that kind of an unbreakable part of our life. Then, at the end, I'm told there are 5 minutes. So, I would like, I'll just quote, which I quote very often, just a few 2 lines from Gopal Das Neeraj's poem. He just passed away, I think, last year or a couple of years ago. One of the most famous contemporary poets in Hindi. It's an amazing poem. It's a long poem, but I like to quote the last lines. And he says, Sukh mein nacho, dukh mein nacho. Jeevan hai tata thaiya re. Tata thaiya, tarekedatum, takkajanu, tathe teta, tete teta. All these are the mnemonic syllables. Show, look at me. Sorry, and they have a power. In dance also there is nritya, where only these mnemonic syllables are sung or recited. What we call jati, arasa, bol, tukda, toda, and sukh mein nacho. When you are happy, you dance. Dukh mein nacho. Even when you are unhappy and sad, dance it away. Why? Because Jeevan hai tata thaiya re. The whole life is one tata thaiya. The whole life is a dance. You cannot break away from it. And then he says, it's a very important last message. Kaun re nache, jab ud jaye. Who will dance when that something flies away? What? Kaun re nache, jab ud jaye, saans ki soon chiraiya re. The golden bird of our breath. So when the breath leaves us, we say na कि इस शरीर के पिंजड़े से प्राण पखेरु, पखेरु meaning pakshi, उड़ गया. And only the cage remained. No soul, no spirit, no pran shakti, no life breath. It flew away. So kaun re nache? Who will dance then? So while you are alive, while you are breathing, dance away in happiness and in sorrow. Dance, be alert, be conscious, be graceful, be strong, be supple. Be Atmanirbhar, because dance is within you. You do not need a pen and a paper. You do not need easel and a paint. You do not need hammer and a stone. You do not need gym shoes and gym apparel. You don't need anything. You are dance. The dance is within you. So my friends, at the end, let me quote a little sher, Urdu. बेखुदी में भी खुददार नजर आती हूँ. Self-confidence. What dance gives, my final word, self-confidence. मैं हूँ. I am, because I dance. I am. I exist. बेखुदी में भी खुददार नजर आती हूँ. मैं कभी खुद को तमाशा नहीं बनने देती. I will never allow anyone disrespecting me or make a mockery of me. Why? I may be sad, I may be down, but even then, I have my self-confidence, my dignity, and the dance in me. I am me. I am my dance. Dance is my life. And so it is with you, my friends. I'm sure you all enjoy dancing and singing. So dance with joy, with self-confidence, with love. Try to communicate wonderful thoughts. Try to communicate, share your experiences. Teach dance, share dance. Fill your life and fill your surroundings with symphony of life. Thank you so much. आप स्वस्थ रहें, मस्त रहें, आपका जीवन सफल हो, आपका जीवन कल्याणकारी हो. स्वस्ति अस्तु, शुभम अस्तु, मंगलम अस्तु. नमस्कार.